Hey, it's LaxRoxTopher here, bringing you another NCAA Football 11 commentary with a bowl sim. This is the Brute Sun Bowl, which now has been changed to the something something bowl. Not sure on the sponsor, cause I kind of forgot, but I did know. And in this game, bringing you Notre Dame versus the Miami Hurricanes, which at one point in time was a very prominent rivalry in NCAA football. And the rivalry's kind of died out. They haven't played each other much. Both teams are kind of on a slump. Miami's definitely on the upside of that slump. Notre Dame's working to get there. A long video. It's like 7 minutes and 20 seconds, so I might be able to cover two topics today, but we'll see how heated I start getting on the topic. But in the last video, I told you guys I was going to talk about the whole Ohio State thing with Terrell Pryor and Posey and a bunch of other players. Their little trouble they ran into with the NCAA. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, which I don't know how you haven't, unless you didn't watch Sports Center or any kind of sports show over your holiday little weekend. I think it's 4 or 5 Ohio State players got not suspended from the Sugar Bowl, which they play against Arkansas. They got suspended from the first 5 games of next season. Most of these players being juniors. One of them was a freshman, I know that. Of course, the main player in the case is Terrell Pryor, the starting quarterback for Ohio State. They sold their 08 Big Ten championship rings. A couple of them sold their Gold Pants awards, which are the trophy they get for beating Michigan every year. And someone else sold like their jersey or something. Which, to me, it seems like, yeah, that's not right, but you think about these athletes, it goes back to the whole getting paid to play football kind of thing, like how Cam Newton, for those of you that say Cam Newton's a cheater, this is, once again, all this is my opinion, but I don't think a lot of people actually know the story behind that. Cam Newton was suspected of taking money, is what a lot of people hear, but it was his father who requested for him to go to his school, they might have to pay him money. Cam Newton had no part of that. There's no proof he was a part of that. When asked about it, he said he had no clue, which is why the allegations have been dropped. He earned the Heisman. He was the best player in the draft, or best player in college football this year. And it's not like he was being paid. Even if he was paid, I mean, it's wrong, but either way, he's only a junior this year, so he still would have been playing college football. It's not like Reggie Bush where it was like, oh, well, he might not have been there, or that type of deal. He was going to be at Auburn. He got kicked out of Florida. There was nowhere else for him to go kind of deal. So I believe Cam Newton earned it fair and square, and their national title berth. That's just my opinion. But the Ohio State thing, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. Because, one, if you read the report, it says sold their Big Ten championship rings, sold their Ohio State jerseys, their Gold Pants awards, as in it is theirs. As I read a couple people who did comment on the subject, Semi-Pro Gaming is one of them, and Noodle Rules is the other one. They both disagreed with me, and they're some of my more loyal followers, so I might be alone on this one, on like the playoffs thing. But I personally believe that's kind of horseshit, because it's their stuff. What's next? If let's say they room together and they have a couch, and they decide, oh, I want to sell this couch for a little extra money. We have 3 couches. Why do I need this one couch? Is the NCAA going to suspend them because they wanted to sell their couch? See, that's what I just find kind of ridiculous, is they're suspending players for selling their own equipment in a way. It's their Big Ten ring. If they don't want their Big Ten championship ring, well, I guess that's their problem, not the NCAA's or any awards they got. My opinion, Ohio State, if they don't like how they sold their Big Ten championship rings or Gold Pants awards, I'd say, oh, obviously you guys don't care enough about this stuff. As a team, we're not going to award you the next time we win the Gold Pants award or anything else. We're just not going to give you one since you obviously don't want it in the first place. I'd say the team, plus it saves them money, just says, all right, you 5 players don't get your next one or whatever. Because all it's really doing is they're suspending them from the next 5 games, not the Sugar Bowl. So what they're saying is, okay, you guys can play in the Sugar Bowl. It's a big game, which a lot of people think is just because they're Ohio State is why they're allowed to play in it. Wow, I'm looking at the editing in this, and it sucks, so I apologize for that. But a lot of people are saying, why do they get to play in the Sugar Bowl but not the first 5 games of the next year when most of them are juniors? But here's also the thing. Terrell Pryor, if I was thinking Tyrod Taylor, but Terrell Pryor, if he comes out, he's not even projected to be that high of a draft pick for quarterbacks. So he could be third, fourth round, so he's not even guaranteed that much money. So it'd be kind of stupid for him to go, but at the same time, if he stays, he misses 5 games and might drop in this draft class. Or they might find someone else at quarterback who might be better. So it's a tough choice for a lot of juniors, which I think is actually going to end up hurting the NCAA because they might have players that aren't ready, won't pursue their degrees because they don't want to miss the first 5 games of the year as opposed to just missing the Sugar Bowl. So I think that they're going to end up leaving, most of them, and not getting a degree, not probably doing that well in the NFL, and they're going to be the next middle-class McDonald's workers, which is sad, or get a job on some team, but where they could have stayed in school, got their degree, and then got drafted a little bit higher in the draft and gotten guaranteed a little bit more money to be able to live off of until they got a decent job if the NFL failed for them, or they're older and they get more chances in the NFL. They have more experience. I think the NCAA did a poor job of handling this. If they suspended them for the Sugar Bowl, no doubt in my mind Arkansas would probably win the Sugar Bowl. I still think Ohio State's going to win it just because they have all those players, but that's my opinion. We'll see if they don't end up just sitting them anyways out of, I don't know, like just making an example. But it's kind of wrapping up, but I'm just going to stay on this little fact. I do think the NCAA did this wrong. They're punishing people for selling their stuff. It is not the Big Ten's championship ring. It does not say, oh, they sold the Big Ten championship ring for Ohio State. They sold their Big Ten championship ring. They did not sell Ohio State's Golden Pants Award. They sold their Golden Pants Awards. They did not sell Ohio State's jerseys. They sold their Ohio State jersey. It's their stuff. They just give it. It's theirs. I don't get why they're being punished for selling their stuff. It is wrong, in my opinion. They should not be selling their stuff, but they might need the money, and what's wrong with doing that? I sell stuff. Why not try and sell something to get a little bit of extra money? That's just my opinion. This is LaxRoxTopher. Keep gaming.